Hey, y'all. Welcome to the From Surviving to Thriving podcast. You know, the place where we take the veil off and pull the curtains back on our everyday lives. I'm your host, Jackie. Today, I have someone that I've known since I was 14 years old with me. He came straight from the dentist. That's how much he loves me, guys. Okay. I have my brother, Marcus, with me today. Marcus, say hi to everyone.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
You happy to be here?
I am.
Straight from the dentist?
Yeah.
Are you in pain?
I'm not in pain. Still a little numb. So, if I talk a little weird, it might
That's
just be
why?
for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll just roll with it.
All
Okay. Don't worry about it. You look fine, even though you look a little fat,
I know,
but
yeah.
it's all right. You got it. All right. So today we're going to talk about us turning 40 this year.
Right.
Also, what our relationship has been over the last 26, going on 26 years.
Yeah.
If I'm doing the math right. 26 years. And what it's like to have like a real, genuine, platonic relationship between a guy and a girl. Because I know this is not typical.
It's not their average. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So I think the people might benefit from hearing.
Probably everybody.
Yeah,
you know,
everybody could kind of benefit from hearing what a relationship like ours is
Yeah.
like.
For sure.
All right. So before we go too far, I want to talk about how we met.
Okay.
So I'm going to say my version of how we met.
Okay.
And then you can share what your version of how we met was.
Sounds good.
All right. So I remember meeting you at Del Castle, of course. You were a transfer student. So I
Yep.
think you came like after the school year started. I don't think it was
Yeah.
like the very beginning. It was
Nah,
like
it was
into the
like,
school
I think
year a
like
little bit.
October of that year.
Yeah. And I remember you coming to our shop. Because we were in
Yeah.
electrical power plant at Del Castle.
Yep.
Shout out to Mr. Gears.
Hey, Garris.
Yeah. So I do remember you coming to our shop and, I think we just clicked from there.
Yeah.
Granted, there was only a few of us
I was
in
gonna
our
say,
grade.
It was only in our class. It was only like
Six or
Six
seven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were kind of just all like close, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
And the fact that you were the only
only
female in our group, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely was the only girl in the shop
Yep.
too. So, and then my cousin Mike was in
Yep.
the shop with us.
Mike.
And
yeah.
it was really just us three that looked like us.
Right. Yep.
So
Yep.
we automatically bonded.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you was a part of the Jamaican crew a little bit.
Yeah. I know.
So that's my version of how we met. What's yours?
I think that version is about right. I mean, I don't remember too much about it. I remember a lot, that went on. But as far as meeting, I remember, just saying what's up to everybody and y'all welcoming me in. And then ever since then, it was just like, all right, we moving. Everybody cool.
So tell me what you think our friendship dynamic was from back then in our teens into our 20s compared to how it is now that we're in our 30s, about to be 40.
Yeah, I think back then we were still just trying to, get through school and, obviously still trying to find ourselves. So, but I think between us being in a close group in school gained us together, you know what I mean? Brought us together because you were like the sister I didn't really have, you know what I mean? And I love my sister to death, but we just not, like a relationship that we have. And it, that meant a lot to me. So I think back then it was just more so we were like just still like trying to find our footing in the world and trying to figure things out and just kind of going off or whatever, But today is different, I think we know who we are and I don't know, we just see our growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could say, yeah, I agree. We definitely were young. I think we were 14. I know I was 14, so
Yeah, I was a little
you had
younger,
probably
yeah.
just turned 14 when
Yeah.
we met. So of course we were young and
Yep.
dumb and
Mm-hmm.
making mistakes and
I know I did.
acted out
Yeah,
and
for real.
but I don't know if you remember, but remember back then you had hair.
Oh yeah, of
And
course I remember.
I used to braid
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
braid your hair back
Yep,
then.
yep. In class. Yep, yep.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I would also, always go up to the cosmetology shop too when you didn't want to
Mhm.
do it or something. But it
Yep.
was just like a real cool, day at school. You know what I mean? Gears
Yeah.
made it comfortable for us, and I
Yeah.
don't know. We had a lot of fun.
We did.
You know. Yeah.
What do you think about our 20s and 30s? Like I know you said you talked a lot about our teen years,
Mhm.
but I know there's a lot of growth, but
Mhm.
how do you think we got to that point?
Mm. I know. For me,
Mhm.
my 20s was just a little wild and crazy, and just living like there was no tomorrow for me. You know what I mean? So I think difference for you though. I think you've always had like your end goal that you thought that you wanted to do and all that. So you were more focused and disciplined. Me, I was just living like it's no tomorrow and just going with the wind. So 30s was more like, all right, I know what it is. I know what I want to do. Let me straighten up. Let me focus. I got my family. I got to do what I got to do and this and that. So I think that was the difference. Yeah.
All right. So what do you think after all these years keep our bond as strong as it is?
Um, I think because we've been through so much together and how we started. I mean, I don't think anything can break it. You know what I mean? We've traveled together. We've, fought together. It's been a journey. So it's like I don't know. I mean, from outside looking in, for other people's eyes, they don't really see like, our journey, our history. So it's not really understandable to most. But when it was six of us in that classroom, you know what I mean, and us two are the tightest bond out of it. I mean, you can't change that. So
I never even thought about it that way,
yeah.
honestly, thinking back that far.
Mhm.
But I think once we graduated from high school, because I
Mhm.
think during high school we were definitely close,
Mhm.
but I think our bond got a lot closer
It did.
after we left high school.
Yeah, but also you got to think too. From my aspect, I'm coming to a whole new school, not
Mhm.
knowing anybody.
True.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And if you and Mike, you know what I mean, and everybody else,
Hmm.
if y'all are the only ones that I'm really like close to,
Hmm.
what's gonna break that up? You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I know as a teen, it's still like we just still just living life, but yeah, after high school, we did get closer.
Yeah. And I think after I went away to
Hmm.
college and we still kept in touch because I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes relationships in
Hmm.
high school and college that transition don't
Hmm.
always translate.
Yeah.
So some people I mean, even me and my cousin aren't as
Of
close
course.
as we
Yeah.
were when we were in high school, but for whatever reason our
Hmm.
bond kept strong.
Hmm.
And I think what I can attribute that to is the fact that I don't know, like I always looked at you more so as like a brother,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And of course, that only got better
Hmm.
and stronger the older we got.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think for me, the relationship from the jump was, yeah, we were friends,
Hmm.
but I don't know, like when I click with somebody, I click with them and you family.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, like I said, I looked at you as a sister. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I came up to the school. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
for homecoming and stuff like that one time. So
Hmm.
it's just like I don't know. It was a different relationship. One I never really felt like I had before. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride though. Yeah.
Well, with saying that, it's a
Mhm.
hell of a ride.
Mhm.
Obviously, with 26 years of friendship,
Mhm.
there's a lot of milestones that
Right.
we would have experienced together,
Mhm.
shared, and I think we should talk through maybe some of those and,
Sure.
explore them. Like, of course, for you,
Mhm.
well, both of us, we both got
Got
married,
married. Yeah.
and I ended up divorced,
Mhm.
but you're still married.
Mhm.
You're now a father
Mhm.
for 11 years. It's coming
Almost.
up
Yeah.
next week or so.
Yeah.
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 You're a father. We've been through career journeys together.
Mhm.
And like you said, we've experienced a lot. So
Mhm.
let's kind of talk through some of those experiences and share how we've been there to kind of witness that and
Okay.
support each other through it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when you were getting started. Um, Not even getting started. You've been in banking before,
Mhm.
but you were. I think you were in Georgia, and you wanted to go for this certificate for. I forget the exact position.
Compliance. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
AML
and
certification.
I forget. I mean, you've always had money, but I forget this instance. Like you just, I looked out for you for something or whatever,
Hmm.
and you got it and whatever, and it was just like after that, it was just like took off running or whatever. But I mean, I just remember those type of things. It's like we there for moments. Like even if, hey, I just need this. Like I needed something from you, you give it to me.
Hmm.
The support is always there. The loyalty's always been there. The trust definitely has always been there. So, I mean, I when it comes to somebody in your life that you can, without a doubt, trust, that would be, you, just like other family. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel the same way about you, though. Like,
Yeah.
I was at the house the other day and I was talking to your dad,
Mm-hmm.
and I was saying how, like, when I think back on our relationship and our friendship, and I was saying how, regardless of who I was dating
Mm-hmm.
or what relationship I got in, like, I always was like, listen, I got a brother.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they would know, obviously, if we're that far along in our relationship, that we're
Yeah.
not blood brothers
Right.
and
Right.
sisters. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know how men can get in their
Yep.
heads about things. But
Well, women too. You know.
true,
Yeah.
we'll dive into
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
later on. But that was always something that was important to me,
Mm-hmm.
that I established that up front. Like, listen,
Yeah.
that's my brother. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You be gone before he ever will be.
Yeah.
So I
Likewise.
think the thing for me that kept our bond that strong is the fact that I feel like we have an unconditional love for each other
Mm-hmm.
that I don't think anybody can break. Not even you. Yeah, we get on each other's nerves. We will argue all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's nothing that you can possibly do
Nah.
that will make me be like, nah, I can't F with Mark no more.
Nah. I mean, for one, there's like, it's not a matter of their friends and their, you know what I mean? No, we're family. Like
Mm-hmm.
we were friends back in school. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like now we're brother and sister. I mean, that's not ever going to change. I'm always going to look out for you, always going to protect you. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And have your best interest just like you do me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can't nobody break that. You know what I mean?
I think our entire families,
No,
they've
everybody
they've
know.
they've
I
they've
mean,
got to the point where they accept the fact that
yeah,
we are brothers and
yeah,
sisters,
yeah.
and there is nothing
Yep,
they can say or they can do. Like,
yep,
everybody know in my family, Marcus is my brother, and I
yeah.
don't even say your name. Most of the time,
No,
I'm
I
like, my
know.
brother, my
Yeah.
brother, my brother, my brother.
And that's one thing I think that we both appreciate about each other's families. Like they
Mm-hmm.
welcome us and not throw, oh, that's like his little friend. Like I will
Mm-mm.
never have my parents or anybody in my family, they would never say that because you're not. You know what I mean? You've
Mm-mm.
been around longer. Even I mean, my wife, I love her. We've been married almost 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
but you've been around longer than her. You've been around longer than girls I used to date. You know what I mean? So my mom knows you from 20 something years now. My
We're
dad, same,
kids.
everybody. Yeah, but
Yeah.
even when we went down South Carolina, you know what I mean? Meet
Mm-hmm.
my grandma didn't treat you like no friend. You know
No.
what I mean? So
Nope.
it's like, and the same when I come over to your family, your aunts, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Your brother's house, everything. Just,
My brother's is your
yeah,
brother now because that's
exactly.
my
Of
brother.
course, yeah,
So,
yep,
say it's the same. And I
yeah,
love that both, like you said, both of our family
hmm,
openly embrace
yeah,
both of us in that space, and they respect that
yep,
space. Like, yeah,
yeah, yeah. They know, you know,
they
they know.
definitely know.
Now, we can say in the past, people questioned. You
Right.
know what I mean? They always going to question because they're not used to it.
Absolutely.
But we can wholeheartedly say we've always been like this.
Always.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yep.
God put that together. He
Yeah.
ordained it, and it's been this way
Yeah.
for 26 years, and it'll be this way till the day we
Yep.
die.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Love you, sis.
I love you more, bro.
Word.
What's one thing that we've learned from each other that you can share?
I've learned from you that everybody needs somebody to talk to. Like, you know, you used to be my go-to therapist. You know what I mean? Anytime I had an issue going on, I'm calling you. And you was like, hey, bro, I love you, but we can't talk about everything all the time. But nah, I mean, other than that, though, too, I learned from you just, like, I've always had hustle, but I think your hustle just outmatches mine sometimes. Being honest.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. You know, I get my head some time and this and that, but I mean, I've never seen anything be able to stop you.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know. I feel like I didn't have a choice. You know what I mean? So I had to do what I had to do. But one thing that I can say that I've learned from you is honestly what I'm gonna get emotional.
Don't do
Damn,
that.
you got some tissues in here? Okay, I'm gonna leave that in there because it's real.
Okay.
But I've learned from you really like what unconditional love is.
I respect
Yeah. Damn it.
it. Yo,
Fucking damn it.
yeah.
Help me, Father God. It's okay to break the third wall. Now my makeup's about to get messy. Thank you. All
Come on, man.
right. Sorry.
No, not that. You started shit.
My bad, bro. But yeah, I definitely learned what unconditional love is from you because the type of love and support that I could always bank on getting from you, I don't think I've ever really gotten that from anyone else in my life. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of what I was going through, I always know that you got my back. I'll never
100%.
never have to question it.
Likewise.
So that's one thing that
I appreciate that.
I can attribute to our relationship.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Come on.
Want
You
some
started
napkin
it,
too?
man. Nah.
Here.
Nah, for real. It's been a long time coming, man.
Definitely.
We've been through, like, a lot of stuff together, man.
We have.
Yeah.
We've experienced a lot. We've faced a lot. We've learned a lot.
Yeah.
We've transitioned. I mean, I've watched you grown from the horrible little teenage kid to the loving father and husband that you are now.
Right.
And we're all still a work in progress, but
Yeah.
trust and believe that, you know, I respect the man that you are, and I know you always trying to be better.
Of course. I am.
And when you come to me for support and advice, yeah, I be ripping into you a lot of the times, but you
Yeah.
know that it's out of love,
Of course.
and I never want to lead you astray. So
Yeah.
whatever I'm telling you, I know you know it's the truth, even though you don't want to hear it. But, you know, it's all coming from a good place.
It is. I know. I would never question that. Nah. I mean, even back in the day, like, Even I remember one time we was in the car in Georgia. We was driving somewhere,
Mhm.
and I was just telling you how I hate your driving. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you're a bad driver. You're not a bad driver. I just hate being a passenger.
I
And
know.
we was arguing about that stuff.
Mhm.
We got so heated. I'm like, man, look, whatever. Just don't talk to me for a little while. But it ain't like I'm holding a grudge and this and that. Look, we gonna get
Mm-mm.
over it. You know what I mean?
No, like
Yeah.
I know. First of all, you are. I know you ain't talking about driving. First of all, because I mean,
I
thank
threw it in
God you
there.
you have gotten better. Because I remember every time I would get in the car with you, I'd have to argue because I don't know why you think it's like Dover Speedway.
Yeah, I'm a lot more calmer now. You
Yes,
know,
because I always feared for my life every time I
yeah,
got in the car with you.
right.
And I'm like, listen, do this on your own time.
Yeah,
Do this when I'm not in the car.
I feel you.
I would like to live another day.
Yeah, I mean, I done tore up some cars in the past. I
You
think you
think?
doing that a lot. Just you learn how to take it easy. You know, so
I appreciate you notice I have not argued with you at all for probably the past
for a
few years
while,
for
yeah,
driving.
yep, long time.
I feel safe.
And when I ride with you,
You
I don't say
are?
shit about your drive. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's a part of getting older.
maybe.
You're not in no rush to
Nah, I'm
meet
not
Jamaica or
not that
anything
much in a rush,
anymore.
right?
So you just chill,
Yeah.
except for in Jamaica. When we was driving in Jamaica,
Was
when
I
you
was I saying
you
something?
be in fear for your life, just, not
I
because of
mean,
my
no, not because
driving,
you're driving. No,
right?
nah.
Just the fact that
Yeah.
you don't have control
Yeah,
over the
exactly.
car,
Exactly. And everything
and
else is going around me. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna let Jesus take the wheel or something, you know. But
I do want to talk a little bit about platonic relationships because I know we briefly touched on it earlier.
okay.
And as a male and female
Mm-hmm.
that's been friends for so long,
Yeah.
I know that's something that's rare.
Yeah, it is.
And a lot of people, I'm sure,
Mm-hmm.
questioned it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, like, your past
Mm-hmm.
relationships.
They question.
How did your past girlfriends feel about our friendship?
I mean, I think everybody has a right to feel, I ain't gonna say threatened,
Mhm.
but a certain kind of way when a male and a female are so close and not involved in anything like that. You know what I mean? So people just want to know. So exes, they wanted to know, and I told them what it was. Whether they believed or not, that's not up to, you know, I can't control that. You know what I mean? I can just give you what it is, and you can take it or leave it. It didn't give like it didn't make or break the situations because I think over time people can see. You know what I mean? So and I think people know me enough to know like I'm not just some individual who just, you know, gonna lie to you about that or, you know, just even be in a situation and be faking it. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think I don't know, they just had to take it or leave it. That's
Did
it.
anybody try to break up with you? Because
Nah, nah. Because it's not like, you know, it was any flags or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, what are you gonna do?
yeah, I
You
mean, I
know?
definitely feel like I was always
Of
respectful
course you
of
were.
your relationships. Like, it's not
Yeah.
even in my nature to,
Mhm.
try to overstep
Mhm.
any boundaries because, I mean, that's
Yeah.
why we've been friends for so long.
Right.
We respect each other's boundaries,
Mhm.
and, I'd never try to jeopardize any of your relationships,
Yeah.
regardless of how I felt about any of them.
And
But,
right.
yeah, I'm trying to think if any of the guys that I'd ever dated,
Had
like,
a felt a certain kind of way.
yeah, I would say
I
probably in the
wouldn't. I was
beginning.
gonna say I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, in the beginning, but I
Yeah. Yeah.
think once they met you
Mhm.
and, realize like the interaction that we have with each other
Yeah.
and how all of us are around other
Yeah.
people and how
Yep.
other people,
Yeah.
react to our
They see the family
interaction.
bond. You
Right. They
know.
realize like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Ain't nothing going on over
Hell
there.
nah.
Like, it's not
Yep.
that type of party.
Yep.
So I do think that it initially
Mhm.
men probably would question
Yep.
what
I
that.
remember a story. Well, it's a story I got, and I
Mhm,
never told you.
mhm,
But somebody in the past had brought up something about you,
mhm,
about like being involved, and I looked at him like, what are you crazy? You know what I mean? That's how I responded. And I think by the response, they automatically really knew, like, all right, this is for real. You know what I mean? But I know instances where people have came to you and said, hey, I don't know why y'all, you know what I mean?
Yeah. People
But
have definitely
yeah,
said, like, based on the fact that they see how long we've known
of
each
course,
other
yeah.
and how we interact.
Yep.
They've definitely said, like, why don't y'all date, or why didn't y'all do X, Y?
Right, right.
It's like,
Yep.
hell no.
Right.
First of
Exactly.
all, I know I know you too
I know.
well.
Yep.
I know you way too well
Yep.
to even want to cross them lines.
Exactly.
And I always feel like our relationship that we have is so precious. Like, I would
It's
never,
not. It's never.
never,
The
yeah,
thought hasn't even crossed.
no.
And for one, because I'm not. You already know the type of. You know what I mean. I would never just put on the front. You know what I mean, or act like this. And I think people know, like, from back in the day. Like, even people are still surprised to hear that we are this close from school, from back in the day.
Wow.
Like, people who I've been around are like, yo, y'all still. I'm like, yeah. Like, it ain't
We
no fucking
talk all
game.
the time.
Yeah.
We,
I'm sorry. My bad.
you can.
All right. Yeah, but
I'm not surprised though,
I'm
because
not.
that's not
It's not normal.
normal.
I know.
It's very, for me,
Unique.
yeah, for me, it's on brand just because I know how I am as a person.
Yeah.
But for other people, it's strange for some people. And for others, it's like, well, damn, like, what is
Yeah.
it? So if you have any insight that you can share, what is it that you think makes a healthy platonic relationship like ours work? Like, what do you think does that for us?
You want me to be a guru?
Yes, be a guru for a second.
I think the trust for sure. It's always been loyalty. The love and laughter. And, just support. I mean, you can keep going, but I think those are the main things, you know what I mean? But you definitely have to have that bond with each other that is both ways, you know what I mean? Like, how you feel a void in my life, just like I might feel a void in your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. The trust thing is very big for me because trust overall is a big, big thing for me.
It is.
And the fact that you are and I know I've said this to you plenty of times.
Oh, you
You
can say it
are, of course, you are the one person, and I don't care who in the world knows or
Right.
hears this. You are the one person that I can tell the worst thing about myself to, and you would never judge me. I could say the wildest, most craziest thing to you, and you wouldn't even bat an eye. You wouldn't judge me. You might laugh and ask questions,
Right.
but I have never
Judgment-free
ever
zone.
right. I have never ever felt
Right.
judged
Right.
by you.
Yep.
So I do feel like that level of trust that I have, that I can say anything to you. I can share my deepest, darkest secrets, and they will go to the grave.
Yep. And it won't never change.
Nope.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I do think that's a big part of why our relationship works, because I trust you wholeheartedly with my life.
Likewise.
So
Yep.
there's nothing that I can't say or do.
Nah.
And
I'll never look at you in a negative way of anything you say to me.
nope.
You tell me, whatever. Still my sis. You know what I mean? Still love you to death. So
Yeah, you could be committing the worst Well, depending on what that crime is, I might have to. My morals
Right. Yeah.
might make me want to
Of
tell you
course.
about
But I
yourself.
would never.
But you'd still be my brother, and I
Right.
would still love you.
Yeah.
But that don't mean I can't tell you about
No,
yourself,
of course.
because
Yeah.
I like to tell you when you do something wrong.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I gotta get on you too. I mean,
How often do you get on me?
when it's necessary.
How often is that? If
Whenever.
if we were, since you brought it up, if we were to count who gets on who more, who gets on who the most?
This ain't a contest.
It is though. You brought it up.
You might get on me, but I'm just saying there's times where, you know what I mean? Don't act like it ain't.
I agree. You have had to
Let
tell
you
me
know.
about myself,
Yeah.
but I feel like I tell you about yourself more.
We ain't talking about me right now.
Yes, we are. Who's on the show?
I'm talking about this instance.
We are
right.
talking about each other.
You're right.
So,
You do.
how often do you have to tell me about myself versus how often I have to tell you about yourself?
Oh, man. I don't know. A little bit more. A little bit less.
A lot, a bit more.
Nah, I mean, you do have to talk to me more. I mean, but I don't know. Maybe that's just because before, my maturity level too wasn't, where it is now. So I'm not going to say that is defined for like these moments, this life right now. But in the past, you definitely got on me. A lot more.
Absolutely.
A lot more.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like
Nah.
that's something that I also appreciate about our friendship is the fact that we could call each other out and not take it personally.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me about myself or something that I'm doing, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be like, well, Marcus is because he said this, and if I'm telling you, it's because I see something that
Yeah.
you could be better
Of course. Yeah.
at
It
or
was
do a different way.
most of the time it's always from you for me to better myself, or get in a better mindset or a better position. That's it. It's never been like, why do you do this dumb stuff or whatever? You know what I mean? So I've never taken it like to heart and acted, out on you or whatever. But no, I mean, I think you inspire me a lot to always go for the next level, like never be complacent here and just keep, trying to get better because I'll always have my little battles in my mind, about if I want to keep doing this or if I want to stop this. But I don't know, you just inspire me to keep getting better and always has.
That's good to know. And I know it's the same for me when I need somebody to bounce something off of,
Yeah.
and I can't say it to anybody else, or even just making certain decisions about life
Right.
that I know other people might judge me about.
Yeah.
And I just know I can come to you because you're not going to judge
Yeah.
me. Like,
Yeah.
I want you to think back to, just came to my mind too when I was sitting here. How many times have you had to get on a flight or a train or something to come and help me pack up somewhere
And move.
and move?
Yeah, numerous
Can you
times.
think?
Numerous.
Do you have any examples of
Hopped on a
off
train.
the top off your
hopped
head?
on a plane. Vehicles. I mean, we done did it all. You know what I mean? I think the best trip though to help you move was when the Florida to Jamaica. I like that one. That was dope. I mean, we were in like, I don't know, 2 different states. I don't know how many different counties. You know what I mean? We traveled all across Florida. But no, that was dope. And, it doesn't matter though. Like, you could have been moving down the street. You could be, I'm always going to be there if you need me. So,
Absolutely.
but, I think that was the best one that I had like the most fun. You know what I mean? The other one, I remember driving from Virginia to Atlanta and it was nothing but rain.
Yeah.
And I was pissed. And I'm driving this big U-Haul and I'm like, man, yo, can we stop? He was like, no, we gotta make it. I'm like, all right. But yeah, I think the Florida one was the best.
That's how I be knowing that, you really love and care about me as a
Because some of
sister.
the shit.
Because
Yeah.
the amount of times that I have moved, like I think when I did a tally at one point, and I'm counting like moving from like an
From a
apartment
place
to
to another,
like
yeah.
another, or like a house to an
Yep.
apartment or stuff like, or from an apartment to a house because I hate apartments. But just thinking and counting, I think it got to like 20 something times that I'd moved in like 7.
Really?
Yeah. Because remember, once I left
Oh,
Delaware,
you know, I
I
haven't
was
even
on
thought.
a move
Yeah.
down the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I left Delaware, went to Virginia. I moved twice when I was in Virginia.
I remember.
Yeah, so I
Yep.
moved to Tamara's, then I moved into my apartment like a month later, and then I left the apartment and moved into the townhouse, and then I left the townhouse, and that's
Go
when
to
we
Georgia.
drove to Atlanta, and I was in Atlanta at my cousin's for a little bit until
I
I
remember
bought
that.
my house.
Yep.
So I bought my house, moved into my house, then moved out of my house into my cousin's house, then left from my cousin's house to South Florida. So yeah, and then when I was in Florida, I done moved way too many times in Florida
Yeah.
to count.
I
But
know.
the last time that I moved was the biggest move,
Yeah.
and that's the move from Florida
Go to
to
Georgia.
Jamaica.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, I forget where did we meet up in? I picked you up in
Orlando.
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 Yeah. So we
Yeah.
were in Orlando. We went to the land.
Miami.
Yep, and we ended up in Miami to unload
Tampa.
the
Yeah.
truck,
Yep.
and then we drove up to Tampa, and I think you flew out of Tampa.
I flew out of Tampa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we were all over the place
Yeah,
that
we were.
time.
Yeah.
But every time I think about it, I'm like, we've moved, or you've helped me move more times than you probably
I
should
saw a
have.
great deal of the country because of you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, it's fun though. I mean, I enjoy those trips. You know, it lets us bond. It lets us, connect on some other stuff in life that we need to talk about sometime because we're always busy. And those times are good times to do it because we got nothing but time. We on the road. So
That's
we
a
can
fact.
talk. Yeah, but
We literally are driving
Yeah.
most of the time, but like from Miami, we spent a night in DeLand, and then
Yeah.
I think we stayed a night in
Yep,
Miami or
in
something.
Miami.
And then the last night we
was
stayed
in
at my
Tampa.
cousin.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah, like the good thing about that too is having partners that trust us enough, because
Yeah.
going back to that
Yeah.
whole platonic relationship is
Yep.
you leaving home to fly to fly to another state to spend time with another woman. We share hotel space, and
But see, that's what we come back to. Like, we're family. This isn't like, I'm playing. You know what I mean? And my wife knows that.
Right.
My mother, my father knows that. My sister knows
Exactly.
that. You know what I mean?
exactly.
And I'm not going to say like, it probably, like, maybe my wife, I'm not trying to talk for her, but I'm sure in the beginning, she probably, felt some kind of way. You know what I mean? As any probably woman should.
Right.
But I think knowing you and knowing us, that just eases everybody's mind. Like, you're family to even my mother-in-law loves you. You know what I mean? So we're just big family.
Shout out to Miss Erica.
Hey, mommy, love you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But-
literally, I think because everyone understands
Yeah.
the whole picture. So like you said, it's not just your family or
Right.
my family.
Yeah.
Even her family.
Yeah.
I'm a part of that family
Yeah,
too.
you are. Yeah.
So, everybody kind of coming together and understanding, oh yeah, that's Mark's sister.
Yeah.
So
And you are.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell everybody. Because we've graduated from, that's my friend. You know what I mean? You was my friend in high school. Like, my
That's true.
sister. So
Yeah.
if they don't respect that, then I can't mess with them.
I agree.
So-
I don't know. It would be very difficult for me to be in a relationship with somebody that would be a threat to our relationship, because that's like asking me to not speak to my family,
Yeah.
which is an automatic red flag.
Yeah, for real.
So
Yep.
I'm happy we both see that, that
Even-
same.
Going back to that, I meant to say, even, I know y'all divorced now, but even your ex, we were cool.
That's true. Yes.
So it's not like people
Mm-hmm.
can't get used to that and see
Mm-hmm.
for what it is because they can.
Yeah.
It's always done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So do you think it's just that the they see and respect what it is that we've created for each other, and they're they're a part of the space now
yeah,
because we bring them into that space,
right.
and they don't even have to question what it is anymore.
I think because they can see it's real. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Hmm.
I think when you know something is real, when you see it, you know what I mean, with your own eyes,
Hmm.
there's no need to question it. I mean, that's my take on it.
All right. So now that we're about to turn 40, from 14 to 40, damn, you about to come to Jamaica in a few
A
weeks, by
couple
the
weeks,
way,
yeah.
because I'm about to have like this big old party.
Yep.
And I'm your big sister. Can you acknowledge that on camera?
Yeah. Got me about a few months.
I'm your big
You
sister.
my big sister.
Okay.
She's
Thank
my big
you.
sister.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just needed to say that because I'm so little. So
Yeah.
big little sister.
Yeah, big little sister. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Okay. All right. So now that we're about to turn 40,
Right.
I want to get the male's perspective
Okay.
on what turning 40 looks like.
Okay. Turning 40, to me, it makes me realize in terms of what average lifespan we're supposed to have, I'm halfway through my life, you know? And I'm not trying to look at it in a negative light.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to say, all right, where do I need to work? What areas do I need to work on to make sure that I continue on a successful route for the rest of my life, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's about trying to take control, getting unnecessary things out of my life that maybe I stumble upon or, takes up time that doesn't need to. Just trying to have a good vantage point on where I need to, what I need to do to be where I need to be.
Do you have like a end goal in mind of what you're looking forward to, or you just
I do.
okay?
Yeah.
What's that looking like?
It's it. I just want peace,
Okay.
because before, maybe in 30s and 20s,
Mm-hmm.
it was about the money, you
Mm-hmm.
know. It's always been about the money. But now I just want happiness, peace, and I think peace is above all because I think I would have that even if I didn't have money or if I have money.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want some peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being figured out,
Mm-hmm.
what's something that you thought you would have had figured out by now?
Mm.
So you know how we're always people that's like, by the
Mm-hmm.
time I reach X age,
Yeah.
I want to be able to have X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
What is it that you think you should have had figured out by 40, but you haven't?
That's a good question. How to, I think on a for me financially, how to bring in money in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I would have had that figured out by now. Not saying I won't figure it out, but it just hasn't happened. But what I've also learned is I can't put time limits on when I should have something completed or done by. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm just setting expectations, and I can't now. I know I can't get disappointed if it doesn't happen because I was putting the limit on myself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I don't have too many like set expectations on when I have to have something done. I just want to get moving to set things up for how I want it, and the time frame doesn't matter right now.
Okay.
I just don't want to waste time.
Yeah. I mean, as a woman and thinking about relationships
Hmm.
and expectations by 40 for women
Hmm.
and things like that, I think for me going into my 40s, some of the like finances isn't really like one of the biggest things for me. It was more
Hmm.
like you said earlier, it's the peace and the relaxation and the
Yeah.
winding down of the seeking of the big positions and
Hmm.
the big house and the cars and the
Hmm.
this and the that. So I think for me, I've kind of pivoted from seeking those things
Yeah.
that we would in our earlier years, and now it's like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to focus on money and all that, and whatever relationship I'm in,
Yeah.
I'm making that work or I'm exiting. Like I feel like
Yeah.
once we start getting to that age, we are making like more strict decisions. We're not playing around like we used to anymore.
You see what's more important in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've always, I always kept a car too. Still do.
Hmm.
But even me now, I'm like, I think if all my cars are gone, I think right now I would be all right with that because I know what it would open up for me for where I want to be.
Hmm.
And also, what is it really doing for me? Nothing. So
Exactly.
I think this time frame, though, my mind has been just thinking about a lot.
Hmm.
And positively, it's been good, the things I get out of it, what I've been thinking and what I'm trying to do. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it comes up fast.
Hmm.
Watching your kid grow, he's about to be 11.
Hmm.
All these grays in my hair, you know what
Hmm.
I mean? It's just like I love it though. I
Okay.
don't I don't want to not get old. I want to get old. So
So then let me ask this question.
yeah.
How do you feel aging affects your confidence level?
Oh, I think it boosts it.
Mm,
I really
yeah,
do.
I
I
agree.
mean, I think I was so scared to try things or do this or that, but I think the older I get, the more I want to step out and do this or do that. And I think maybe naturally, I don't know if it's like midlife, you're just like, you know what? Shit,
Who
what the hell? Yeah,
cares?
let me just do this.
Hmm.
But no, it really boosts your confidence.
I agree. Like, I think we're no longer seeking validation
Nah,
from anybody. You don't
yep.
really care so much about what people
What people think,
think
yeah,
or feel about what you're doing or
yep,
not doing.
yeah,
So I do feel like the aging process does give us that level of confidence to
yeah,
do things that we probably wouldn't have done in our earlier
I agree.
years. How about career wise? Do you think the aging process affects your career as well?
I think if you, well, I can't even say if you let it. I think that would depend on what career you're in.
Hmm.
I think for me, it doesn't affect it.
Hmm.
But even if it did, I'll just pivot and figure out another way, like I always have. So that I'm not worried about. I don't think it'll ever be a problem for me to be able to provide for my family, to support us, to be able to live a somewhat comfortable life.
Hmm.
I just want us to be happy, healthy, and you know, just
That's it.
enjoy life.
Okay.
So
Bringing up the family part,
yeah.
how do you think aging affects family or parenting? Like, I know you
Mhm.
have one son,
Mhm.
Levi, who's amazing.
Mhm.
Um,
My
do
boy.
you think you're done with kids? And how is parenting looking for those later years?
You know what's crazy?
What's that?
Just last night I asked, uh, yeah, as I said, would you want another kid? We've already talked and we said we were done.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
and she said, nah, I think I'm still good. And I think having, my niece around
Hmm.
yesterday was like one thing that made me just like, felt good to hold her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And watching your son grow up to a point where you can't hold him anymore,
Hmm.
it just made me think back to when he was small. So I thought about it again, you know?
Look
But
at
we'll
you.
see. We'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So you would actually start over. You would
why not?
entertain it.
Why not? Because
Okay.
what am I scared of? I've been there before. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
Still got health. You know what I mean?
the
Like,
more the merrier for
yeah.
me. I love the kids,
I know you
so
do. Because you ain't
have
got none.
right, have them. I will be Auntie Jackie
Right.
forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you
Jackie get the
have
best
them,
gifts, too. I ain't going to lie. She don't hold back.
if you have them, I will
Yeah.
gladly receive
Of
them.
course.
So
Yeah. But, we'll think about that and talk about that and see what happens. But as of now, we're probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think outside of the family, do you think like other life priorities have changed? Like I know you mentioned earlier about
Oh yeah. I mean, my priority is whatever Levi's priority is. I mean, right now it's baseball.
Mhm.
Yeah.
which he's
He's great
so
at.
good
He's
at, by
great
the
at.
way.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the priority for me is still the same though. As overall, it's making sure our well-being is excellent
Hmm.
and we can do things in life and be happy. So as long as they're happy, I'm happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer, by the way.
Yep.
I
And
mean,
I'm happy to be happy
yeah.
with them being happy.
I mean, at the end of the day, if the rest of the people in your household is happy, it would be kind of hard for you to
Yeah.
not be because,
Yeah.
I'm sure you are contributing to that happiness. So,
I would like to think so.
yeah, if you're contributing and it's rubbing off,
Right.
so
Yeah.
that's good. What is one thing that you appreciate more about life now than you would say in your 20s?
Nature.
Really?
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah. I love to walk right now.
Hmm.
And just look at the trees and feel the wind and just kind of take it in because you know how long those trees and this land has been here before I was even born, but I'm still walking on. You know what I mean? It's just
Hmm.
I don't know.
You have
Yeah,
a greater
nature,
appreciation for
just being
things that you
alive.
just
Really?
overlooked.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
for real.
I don't know. I mean, I love nature,
Hmm.
but as soon as you said nature, I started thinking about all the things that I'm afraid of in nature.
I
So
mean,
I'm like,
you know, like I'll look at rabbits now running. Like I just seen some
yeah.
run across the street the other day,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, look at them rabbits. I'm like, I just, I would never have thought twice to look at them. And in the past, squirrels, I don't even want to hit a squirrel now. And I'm like, get
Hmm.
out the way. Back in the day, you just a speed bump. So I just appreciate
Mad Max.
everything. I appreciate just really being alive, not being so in tune with the busyness of life with work. You got to do this, you got to do that. Because if you don't take the time out to really enjoy what's around you
Hmm.
and life, then you'll wake up one day and be like, damn, where did life go? You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I think the older I get, the more I just want to enjoy being here.
That's so interesting. When I say I was not expecting you to say nature,
Wow.
that was the furthest thing that
Yeah.
from my mind.
I've really been, you know, posted up on a tree just chilling.
I love it though. I love that. That's some
Yeah.
good energy.
Yeah.
I will say though, sometimes I find myself like when I'm back home in Jamaica,
Hmm.
like I find myself wanting to go outside and get grounded.
Okay.
So I want
Yeah.
to go out and touch grass.
Yep. Hmm.
Like I want to go to the beach and just
Hmm.
sit in the sand and just touch the sand.
Right. Yep.
Like I don't know. I didn't realize like maybe that
Hmm.
has something to do with
Similar.
getting older and just,
Maybe.
embracing nature in a sense
Hmm.
and being more open to it.
Hmm.
But even when I was in Costa Rica with Tamara, at the beach, I just felt like I needed to go sit in the sand
Hmm.
and play in the sand like I was a
Okay.
kid finding seashells. You
All
know how
right.
much seashells I brought back from
Nah, how
Costa
many?
Rica? A lot. I
Big
might
ones?
need to leave some for
All
you.
right.
But yeah, I kind of feel like that there was a sense of like maybe it was my inner child
Okay.
that was coming out in that moment where it's just, oh, go sit in the sand and let the
Hmm.
water just come and
Yeah.
bring you some seashells
Okay.
and admire them because
Yeah.
who does that?
Yeah. Hey, you do.
But right, apparently. And I
And I'm sure,
enjoyed
yeah.
every moment of it.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's a beautiful like moment, like when you're in it,
Hmm.
not even looking at your phone or thinking about anything else.
Nope.
You're just doing this, and it just brings that peace that
Hmm.
I was trying talking about.
Yeah.
But even if it's just for a moment, it's just like, man, this is nice.
It is.
Yep.
I I've never been to an island that did not have electricity.
Mm-hmm.
It had no cell service, and we were there for 5 hours. In Costa Rica,
Costa Rica?
yeah, La Tortuga Island, no power,
No power?
no
I
power,
didn't know
no
that.
electricity. Yeah, no electricity.
Is that
Um,
normal or is it just the time you were there?
no, that's how it is
Oh
because it's
wow.
literally like out in the ocean,
Okay.
just sitting there, and
That's dope. All right.
no cell service.
Okay.
But we knew that going into
Yeah.
it. But I honestly felt like that was a day that I needed
Yeah.
to just detach
Okay.
because, as you can
Right.
see, the phone is constantly going.
Yeah.
There's business to take care of.
Yep.
There's people that are reaching out. There's questions that needs answering.
Mm-hmm.
But on a regular day to day, it's a lot harder to not respond to the phone
Mm-hmm.
than when there's no service
Yeah.
and you don't
You
have
ain't
a
got no choice.
exactly.
Right.
You don't have a choice but to not
Yeah.
answer.
Yep.
So going into it that day, it was like,
Yeah.
you know what?
I'm looking forward to this.
I could just turn the phone off and no one
Yeah.
is going to bother me today.
Yep.
I could be
It's a
whatever I
beautiful
want.
feeling.
I'm like, I need to do this more
Yeah.
often.
Right.
So maybe I need to put my phone on airplane mode.
I was gonna say you might only
Maybe.
be able to get away with that in the island because once that.
Well, I'll be in Jamaica. That's an
Well,
island.
yeah, true.
So
Yeah.
I feel like that's something I need to maybe incorporate into, even if it's once
Yeah.
a month, because
Yeah.
I know how I get. I don't know how to detach a lot of the times,
Okay.
and even if it's just for maybe 2-3 hours, just airplane mode,
Okay.
no call, no nothing, just relax,
Right.
and even go to the beach and do what I did the other day because that
Yeah.
felt amazing.
I bet.
I would
Yeah.
love to do that again.
Couple
So.
weeks and I'm gonna be right on the beach, just
Yes.
feet all in the sand. And
You're excited to come party with your sister.
I am. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. It's
I'm
gonna be,
excited that everyone's coming.
Yeah.
Like, I know we did it for 30.
Yeah.
Remember my
I drove-
30th in
drove down
Atlanta?
to Atlanta. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
That was
was-
cool. It was cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Man,
I think this one's going to outdo
that was
that.
10 years ago.
That was
I'm just thinking back. That's what.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to outdo that, though.
Okay.
I feel like we're all in. First of all, it's in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you can't beat that.
Right.
So that's an
Yeah.
automatic plus.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just the fact that the people that I love and care about
Yeah.
are there surrounding me and supporting me as I take the next step into another
Right.
decade. I cannot
Yep.
wait. I'm so looking forward to it.
Dope. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
We will.
Jamaica's gonna be nice.
I'm ready for Jamaica. All right, so we're going to do 21 questions
Okay.
or so. Might be a little more, might be a little less.
Okay.
These are rapid fire. That
Oh.
means I say it, you pick one.
All
You
right.
don't think about it
That's
too
fine.
much, okay?
Let's go.
All right. Sneakers or dress shoes?
Sneakers.
Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
Text first or wait it out?
Text first.
Barbecue cookout or fancy dinner?
Who cooking?
No questions. Barbecue
Fancy
cookout.
dinner. Fancy dinner.
All right, Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Road trip or flight?
Road trip.
Okay. Stay in or go out?
Stay in.
You was lying like a mother,
Hey,
sir.
rapid fire.
I'm gonna go back and address these because you was lying. Apologize or argue your point.
Argue my point.
Action movie or comedy?
Action movie.
Be rich and unknown or famous and broke?
Rich and unknown.
Okay. All right. You was lying
No, I wasn't.
on that.
No, I wasn't. Nope. I mean, you said I can't ask questions, so in my mind, it depends on the situation. So when you ask me the question, I
I'm
think of a
talking about-
situation and I say, I'm gonna do this.
I'm talking about the stay in or go out.
Yeah.
Because you be on
I'll
me.
be out.
But you be on me all the time because I want to stay in.
That's only because you're not here all the time. So when you're here, I'd be like, all right, yo, let's go out. That's why. Not because that's all that I do. So
You be out.
not really.
You be out.
Not really.
You be out more than me. So
That's
to
a
me, to me, you be out.
Okay, yeah, I'll be out there because you be in.
I do be in. And you be trying to get me to go out. And I'm like, no, why can't we
So,
just stay in?
so when you asked that question, I just thought about like yes. I'm like, all right, yes, we do go out, but you was asking stay in or go out, and then I was just like, you know what, maybe we'll stay in.
Okay.
That's why.
All right. In that sense, I'll
Yeah.
give you that.
Right.
But I
Nah,
was
but
about to say you was a damn lie. Talk about stuff. Stay in. When? You be cussing me out because I want to stay in.
hey, after a long day, it could have been a long day. I just want to stay in, kick my feet up, watch a game or something, or just chill.
Just remember that when I come back and you try to ask me to go out somewhere, I'm like, you picked.
I'm staying in.
I'm like, you picked stay in, so we are staying in.
Right. All right.
All right. If we had to go on a reality show together, which one would it be
Oh,
and
man.
why?
Reality show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw it back. Let's go with Fear Factor.
Fear Factor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be dope. That would be dope. With Joe Rogan.
I remember Fear Factor from
Yeah.
back in the day. So, fun fact, was it Tamara and I, when we turned 30,
Okay.
we went to Universal.
Florida?
Yeah,
Okay.
Universal. And back then, obviously it's 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
No, it was when we turned 21.
Because I was gonna say 30
yeah.
was in Atlanta.
Right. Well, this was for her birthday.
Oh, for hers. Okay.
Yeah, so it was when we turned 21. Because we was
Okay.
just talking about this the other day. We went to Florida and we did Disney and Universal.
Okay.
Universal had the Fear Factor build out.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, because you know how they like swap
Yeah.
out the different theme stuff. And we did it. We did the fear.
Hold on. Do I remember this? Didn't you show me didn't you have pictures?
Yes.
I think I remember
There
that.
was a whole, they had like a whole trail.
Yeah,
Like we had to
yeah.
record a trail. Like when I say it was legit.
I think I remember you showing me something because
Yeah.
I only thought of that because I'm like, all right, if we were on there, like I know it'd be a whole lot of shit you won't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to be like, oh, I got to do it since she act like she can't do it. I got to do it. So I can't. I don't know. I just threw out Fear Factor, but I forgot about that.
Yes. It was interesting because we had to, the first thing that we had to do was we had to go up on a thing and hang up there. And
All
then
right.
they dropped the bottom out.
Okay.
And, after a certain amount of people dropped, then you move on to the next thing.
Okay.
And I think the next challenge was somebody was on the ground. And I don't know if we had to throw the octopus or they had to throw the octopus to us.
Okay.
And we had to catch it, but it was weird. And I had to touch an octopus. So when you said Fear Factor, I automatically flashed back to that.
How was that feeling to touch an octopus?
Not good.
You'll never do it again?
I won't. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm good on the touching octopus.
All right.
Who would survive longer in a zombie apocalypse and why?
You.
Why?
It's going to be one of them moments I'm just going to wild the out. And they going to get my ass. You more of like a critical thinker and patient. You going to wait it out. Something happen. But me, I'm just going to be like, you know what? This shit.
You gonna
Just
go out there
take
and
it.
they just gonna take you.
Yeah, so you
And
probably
you gonna be
probably
one of
last
them.
longer. Yeah.
Did you watch Walking Dead?
For like maybe the first 2 seasons or whatever.
Yeah, you ain't
Before it
gonna
got
survive then.
too crazy.
See, that's how you learn some of
How
these
to
survival
survive.
skills,
And
right?
that's
I know it's fiction,
yeah.
but there's some realness to it.
It is.
There's some skills
is.
you could pick up and yeah.
I ain't worried about that. Yeah.
Oh, you not?
I got some zombie bullets for them. You know what I mean?
I mean, you gonna run out. So then what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who got in trouble more as a kid?
I
And
did.
I'm thinking teenage years.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you got in trouble.
Very little trouble.
Yeah, but I would say I. Yeah.
Is that a question? Do we have any doubts in our minds who
I
got in more
did.
trouble?
All right. I can't say I did. I got in trouble.
I would
A
agree
lot.
with that
a
1,000%.
lot. Yeah. Bad as shit.
What's one thing that I do that annoys you?
We gotta pick one. I'm
I mean,
playing.
there's multiple. I mean, if there's multiple, share.
Nah,
Share all the annoying things your sister
no,
does.
no, it's not. You know what? I
What?
got one perfect thing.
Do share.
Yeah. So, as we know, me and you, I took a train down to Maryland yesterday to drive a car back up for you, or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And driving back, I noticed this car ain't driving right. Not any of
Not my
you're
fault.
doing. You're right. But I'm calling you to complain about it, and you say, "Well, what do you want me to do?" That pissed me. That gets to me. I was like, "What?" What I say? I gotta call you back.
Yep.
I'm in traffic. I can't even talk right now. like, but nah, like, I mean, I get that you can't do much. I'm just looking for like, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was gonna be like this, but no, you won't say that. You'll be like, well, what you want me to do about it? So,
Well, here's the thing, and I remember saying it. And
and I'm like, yo, I'm
wait,
doing this for you, and this is the condition.
wait. So I remember because we talked a few times on the phone,
Right,
right?
yeah.
And I definitely apologized to you at
Yeah.
some point, several times before this
And that was,
last call.
and that was before something else popped up.
Right, right. So when you called me back the other time, I'm like, okay, at
Yeah.
this point, what exactly would you like for me to do? Because do you want me to call and cut somebody out? Is that going to make you
Yeah, that would
feel
have made me feel
better?
better. Word.
Because I literally was like, okay, so what exactly do you want me to do about
Yeah.
it at this
I
point?
was like, oh, she just don't give a fuck. All right.
I definitely did.
All right.
And then I tried to call you back and it kept going to voicemail. So I was like, well,
Airplane mode.
I guess he's
I
kind of
mean,
mad.
that my battery was low, so I was putting it on airplane. I wasn't trying not to talk to you. I was just like, I gotta save this battery just in case I need to call a tow truck. But nah, it wasn't gonna get to that, man. It was drivable, but yeah.
I definitely knew you was pissed off at me a little bit because you was like, all right, I'm gonna go now. I was like, I done pissed him off.
Word.
So I was like, I'm gonna give him like 10 minutes to
man,
cool down because
I
I
had
know
a
how
whole
you
hour and
get.
a half drive.
I know, but I
I
know how
pissed
you
the whole
get.
ride.
I know. I know how you get.
Yeah.
But definitely felt your pain.
All
So it
right.
wasn't
Nah,
that.
I know.
But I was
You know,
like,
I was over it. Once I got
I
back,
can't do nothing.
I'm like, all right, whatever. We good.
So for me, the one thing that you do that annoys me is you be changing your mind too much. You are a very indecisive person.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk
My
about
wife will say
something
that.
and we'll flush it out, get all the details, we'll figure it out, and then I'll follow up with you.
I'm doing something different.
You
Yeah.
switched it all up.
Yeah, that sounds on track for me.
And then like a month or two down the road, we'll go back and
Yeah.
we'll revisit it again. And we'll do the same thing and we'll rinse and repeat a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's always worked for me. I don't know.
But you know what's consistent though?
What?
I sit there and I go through the same
Yeah, you
process
do.
with you every single time, even though I'll probably be cussing and saying, I told you this 3 months ago,
Yeah.
and we're still doing the same thing over and over again, but I still sit there and do it with you though,
You're right. I take that.
even though it's annoying.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry that annoys you.
It's okay.
See how I apologize.
I apologize to you on the ride.
All right. You're right. You're right.
Did I not?
Now you did.
Oh, okay. 3 words to describe me.
Describe you.
3 words.
All right. Ambitious, loyal, and loving. Yeah,
Okay.
I think those are good.
For me, for you, I would definitely say, well, loyal to the core, because it's not just with me that I see that loyalty,
Right.
like just from other friends and other people that's in your life that I know the type of friendship that you have. So definitely loyal. Um,
I'm
you,
all ears.
you're a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, that's true. You're right.
You're a little crazy.
Yep.
But I know you have like, I don't even want to call it like the hustler mentality, but you be flipping some shit. Like you
Yeah.
know how to get out there, and if you need to flip something, you
Yeah.
do. And that to me, like you said, I don't ever have to worry about your family being provided for,
Yeah.
because
Facts.
I'm about to tell this story. I
Go
might
ahead.
cut it out.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yes, I
No,
might cut it
don't
out
cut it
later,
out.
but
Is it red?
just let me tell my story. I know too many stories.
All right.
So,
All right.
in the same vein of, you will do what it takes to make sure you take care of your family.
Right.
I remember when you decided you was going to be a bartender. And you basically got on the job training to be a bartender. You read some things.
I looked
You
at
watched some
videos.
videos.
Yes,
I
I
know
did. Yep.
you taught yourself.
I did.
On the job though.
Well, I did.
Right,
You're
on
right.
the job.
You're right. But that
Because-
resume
right.
was detailed.
Exactly. But as crazy
Yeah.
as that is,
Yeah.
that's you making sure that you could provide for your family.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, you could go bartend anywhere really now, but look
Yeah.
at what you did.
Yep.
You taught yourself.
I did.
And
Yep.
even with cars, you know, you're not a mechanic that's worked in a mechanic shop or
Nah.
anything like that, but I know what you're looking at the cars, that I trust what you say.
Yeah. I'm gonna get them done.
Right.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
I know you know what you're talking about. That's something that
Yep.
I know you've loved, and I know we've shared cars. Just
Oh,
every
man.
time I would get a car, you would get a car. We would swap
I'm driving
cars.
your car.
Yep.
I used to drive that C-Class you had, that
Yep.
the black one. And I think you would take my Infinity.
Yep.
Yeah.
We would always
Yep.
switch.
Lexus, all those.
All of
A
them
lot.
over
Yeah.
the years. So
Yep.
that love for cars, like me, is always a Mercedes for
Yeah.
me. But you know,
Yeah.
you have a love for vehicles
I
that
got a story about cars since you brought that up. And it's your brother's car, Alex. So, this is a long time ago. But he had my car, and remember he had that Crossfire?
yeah. That little ass is like a two-seater.
It's a two-seater.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember.
But check this out. So I had to go to Jersey, right? I had some friends that wanted to come back to Delaware. They're females. So I'm in his two-seater car. I can't get in touch with him. I guess I'm going to Jersey in the Crossfire. We riding back. One in the passenger seat, one in the trunk. You know, I mean, the trunk is a hatch.
Right,
but
right.
They just all squished up, chilling. But I'm like, hey, we getting back to Delaware. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think afterwards, like, I was able to switch and get my car back. But hey, I had to do what I had to do.
Yo.
Back then.
I forgot y'all used to trade cars too.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
he had a few too. Like he would have my Trailblazer SS, and I had his Camaro or something, and I had it in the
Yes.
snow, and that joint wasn't good in the snow at all.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and I was looking for him, but he wouldn't hit me back. Yeah, love you, Alex.
Normally.
Right.
That's norm for Alex.
Yeah,
But yeah, that love for cars
yeah.
that you have is something that I always admire too.
Oh man, yeah.
Another thoughtful question.
Mhm.
If there was one moment that we've had together that we could relive,
Mhm.
what would it be?
Honestly, Del Castle days. For real. Like, we had our shop suit on or whatever, and we would go and Gears would be teaching us how to like align a pump or something, and then he had that control board with, I don't know, it was just fun learning the stuff, and then we geeking and goofing off in class and stuff. Yeah, but then where else you gonna go and get your hair braided during the day? You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it was just high school was dope. You know, Del Castle was dope. I love Del Castle. So probably that. You know.
For me, just because I know like the other backstory of what high school life was like for me,
Hmm.
I probably wouldn't go back to high school. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like, I know we definitely have different perspectives
Yeah,
of
yeah.
how high school life was
I
because
understand
there
that.
was definitely some masking on my end
Yeah.
in high school. But um, I'd say a lot of those road trips
Hmm.
that we've taken just to move me from one place to another, those
Okay.
are some of like the fondest
Well,
memories that
I agree.
I have. And
I agree.
as horrible as moving is, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind
Doing it
doing
again.
it
Yeah.
again.
And I would have said that, but I had already said, how I love doing that already.
Hmm.
Um, but I wanted to also add in the high school. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Those road trips were dope.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, last question.
Okay.
What's your favorite shared memory of us?
I'm not going to say this is my favorite one,
Okay.
but I'm going to say this is one that I want to know if you remember.
Okay.
And it not only involves me and you, but it involves.
Okay. I'm nervous now.
So I came into class one day and I'm talking to you about this girl that I met when I was working at the mall.
Yes.
And I'm like, yo, she dope. Like, I'm about to call her and try to link up with her and stuff.
Hmm.
And then you was like, hold on. Ain't that the same girl talking to? I said, I don't know. I don't think so. I just, I don't know. I thought of that and I was like, damn, I
Yeah.
remember that.
I
I
definitely,
want to see if you remember that.
I do remember that very vividly.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that bonded us together too, I guess you guys enjoyed having a female person in the group that you guys could just
Talk
come
to.
and tell all y'all business to.
Right.
So the fact that would come and tell me about
Mm-hmm.
stuff and then
Yeah.
you would come and tell me about stuff and then I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
hold
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely remember that y'all were
Yeah.
talking to the same girl.
But for me, it wasn't even really talk because I just had
Yeah,
just
you
met
had
her.
just met her.
So
So it
I
was
never had
like
no
I think
relationship.
had obviously met her
Yeah.
first
Yep.
and they were talking or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
And then she also met you.
Yeah.
And then
And I just opened my mouth and said, "Hey, look who I met." And you was like, "I thought." And this was not at school. This was like at the mall.
hmm.
So it was just like a coincidence, like how that happened. Like it was just crazy. Never had that situation happen again, like in my life.
No.
So, but yeah.
But do you think that it is valuable for males to have, just thinking about how our relationship is
Mm-hmm.
and how you can come to me and get a female's perspective on
Mm-hmm.
things and I can give you advice
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
I can come to you and you tell me, the
Yeah.
male's
Yeah.
perspective. Do you think that it's valuable for men and
Yeah.
women to have the opposite
Most
sex in their
definitely.
life to okay.
Most definitely. Because I can't get I'm not a female.
Hmm.
I can't imagine how y'all think. You know what I mean? So to know when I'm in the wrong or, how I made somebody feel, that's important for me to become better as well. You know what I mean? So I know what not to do or what to say. And I'm just saying that in the aspect if I'm, wrong.
Hmm.
But no,
Which is a
I
lot.
think so. Whatever. No, it's definitely important though. It is. But it's also finding that right person who you can connect with and have it be that situation and nothing else.
Right.
Respect for each other, love for each other, and just a shared bond. Yeah.
I agree. I definitely
Yeah.
think it's a valuable relationship to have.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to navigate a lot of the things that I have in my life
Hmm.
without having you to bounce things off of, or to even give me feedback on certain things that I couldn't necessarily talk to anyone
Oh,
else
yeah.
about. So I do think having that person that you can, outside of, your family per se, because technically sometimes you don't even want to share certain
Of
things with
course.
family
Yeah,
members,
yeah.
but just having somebody like that to open up to and share, and there's no ulterior motives,
Yep.
there's no question
No
in their
judgment.
loyalty, no judgment, none of that
Right.
is so valuable.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yep.
on that note, thank you so much for having this conversation with me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Yaz, for sharing him with me.
Right.
I do appreciate you more than you know.
Likewise.
And for anyone that's out there, if you don't have a brother like Marcus,
Get one.
you missing out. So get you one. Get you a Marcus.
Don't get the wrong one, though. Get a right one.
Get you a Marcus.
Right.
Your life will be
Yeah.
so much better. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have a comment, please drop it below. Shout out to Wilmington Creative Studios for hosting us tonight. And I will catch you guys in the next episode.